What's good? What's good, everybody, man? This is your guy, Manny, and this is the Talking Sports with Manny podcast and YouTube channel, episode 74. So we're going to talk some fantasy football. We're going to talk some NFL. I chose the wrong time to stream tonight. I forgot that Mahomes is on TV. So everybody's watching Mahomes. We'll figure out who is actually going to be watching me tonight, but it's all good, man. Appreciate everybody who hops on. You got Ladarius in the building, man. What's good, brother? What's good, man? Um, Watching this Chiefs game. We're gonna talk some NFL. We're gonna talk some NBA. So this is we talk about everything tonight, including fantasy football. So some of the questions that I had are the Washington Wizards for real? They start out the season 5-1. You have the Charlotte Hornets who started the season 5-2. You have several teams like that, even the Golden State Warriors. So my question has been, are these teams for real? We don't even know what these teams are going to look like, down the stretch. But as of right now, it's kind of like, what are these teams looking like? Watching this Kansas City Chiefs game, and if you started Travis Kelce, you're pretty nervous right now. One of my matchups, I needed 10 points. I need 10 points, and I believe that Travis Kelce has like maybe one reception for a few yards. So, Kelce, give me a couple catches, man. Give me 10 points. Let me go ahead and win this league and get my league back on track. But let's look at the Washington Wizards. They just traded for, Kyle Kuzma. They made that big trade, trading away Russell Westbrook, a piece that they received, through that John Wall trade. So they now flipped that for KCP, Kyle Kuzma, and of course Montrezl Harrell. Being a Lakers fan and a Wizards fan, I was happy about the deal. I felt that it helped both of my teams. But when you look at a guy like Kuzma, people say he's so inconsistent. I'm about to pull up Ladarius' comment right now because we're going to talk about Kuzma. So Ladarius says, Kuzma is too inconsistent, by the way. He played like this with the Lakers, a couple of good games here and there, and now to be found when it matters. So pretty much what Ladarius is saying is that, they've been inconsistent. I mean, Kuzma has been inconsistent, right, throughout his career. But let me tell you why it's going to be different for the Washington Wizards. When you look at Kyle Kuzma, right, 6'9", they say he's 6'10". They say he grew, but 6'9", let's just say 6'9", right? One thing that Kyle Kuzma was able to pick up with Frank Vogel was that Kyle Kuzma became a better defender, okay? People say Kyle Kuzma is inconsistent and this and that. The reason why you might say Kyle Kuzma is inconsistent is because he played behind LeBron James and played behind Anthony Davis. Do you know how hard it is to play behind those two guys? It's pretty hard. It's pretty tough. So now that he's on the Wizards, there's no Hachimura for now. So you see a Kyle Kuzma playing a 4. Kyle Kuzma is a 4. The Lakers try to play him as a 3. He's not a 3. He's a stretch 4. He's an undersized 4-man. He can play the 3, but I feel like he's most effective as a 4. You don't want Kyle Kuzma dribbling a lot. You don't want Kyle Kuzma creating plays. You want Kyle Kuzma making one move and getting to the basket. That's the kind of Kyle Kuzma that you want to have on your team. And so far with the Washington Wizards, his stats have been amazing. I'm going to look up his stats in a minute. I thought I knew about Hart, but I don't know about Hart. But I know that he's averaging a double-double. It's a very good double-double. I think it's like 15 and 12, something kind of like that. So you can say all you want to say about Kyle Kuzma. He's gone to the Wizards. He's found his niche. They're using him in a way that he's supposed to be used. He is a power forward that can move without the ball. That's something that you don't see in today's NBA. You don't see power forwards that have the skill set that a Kyle Kuzma has to be able to move without the ball. So, even tonight's game, he had 18 points, 6 rebounds for the Wizards. He shot 4 for 9 from 3. That's Kyle Kuzma for you. He's a stretch 4. He's going to destroy a lot of 4s out there. But it's just so hard to play this certain kind of basketball when you're playing behind a LeBron James or even an Anthony Davis. When the Lakers go with the small ball, right? Small ball meaning Anthony Davis is now playing that 5 position. A lot of times they'll put Kuzma at the 4. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't work, because then You just kind of put Kuzma on an island and said, hey, knock down threes. You wanted Kuzma to be a catch and shoot 3-point shooter. So that didn't work for Kuzma in LA. Ladarius says, no lie, Melo has been hooping this year. He's what we want Kuzma to be, but I'm happy Kuzma's finally being free from the pressure of LA. You are absolutely right. The Lakers wanted Kyle Kuzma to do what Carmelo is doing. That's not his game. Carmelo is a pure scorer. Even though Carmelo is what, 30-something years old, year 19, he's just a professional scorer. He's a Hall of Fame type player. Carmelo is a star type player, even though he's in LA right now playing a lesser role. Carmelo is that sixth man, that third scorer the Lakers needed Kuzma to be. But the way that Carmelo's being used, the lights are not too bright for him. It's just a perfect marriage between the Lakers and Carmelo Anthony. So I'm happy for Carmelo. I'm happy for Kuzma. And it's working out for both guys. So as I look at the score of this Giants game, it's 14-10. Kansas City still has the lead. Now, you would figure, Kansas City in the third quarter right now, 8 minutes left to go, they only have 14 points. Something is wrong with Kansas City. I tweeted earlier, I was saying, oh, man, Patrick Mahomes is back. Patrick Mahomes is not back. He is not who we think he is as of right now. There's something wrong with Patrick Mahomes, and we have not quite yet figured it out. He doesn't look good. He doesn't look crisp. I mean, he's playing on the same level as a Daniel Jones as I watch this game right now. 4th and 3. The Giants are about to punt the ball. Let's see if Travis Kelce gets us that elusive touchdown that we are all hoping for tonight. If you're watching, please share this thing out on Twitter. If you're watching on YouTube, please share it out. I'm going to start sharing this thing out myself. Let me see what Ladarius says. Ladarius says, Patrick Mahomes really has 10 interceptions already. It's crazy to see him human. And that's the thing. Patrick Mahomes is a regular guy. He does amazing things. People think that Patrick Mahomes, can't fail. It's hard for Patrick Mahomes to fail, right? Because we've seen him do some amazing things. But when you look at it, the team hasn't been good. The offensive line has not been good for Patrick Mahomes. So some of these things that have hurt Patrick Mahomes continue to haunt him, so it's not working out so far this season. I mean, when you have a Tyreek Hill, when you have a Kelce, right, you throw to these same guys. That's the offense. Tyreek Hill, Kelce. That's pretty much their offense, right? They drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the first round, and they wanted this guy to be what he is now, but he's just not that guy. He's not that guy. It hasn't worked out. I put out a tweet today. They have this kid named Gore, and Gore has played phenomenal ball so far. I think it's Derek Gore. He's going to be a hot name on that waiver wire. Clyde Edwards-Helaire just has not been that guy. He has not been that guy. A lot of people are hyped about the Clyde Edwards-Helaire pick. He was supposed to be that guy. I drafted him in, dynasty leagues and things of that nature, but he just hasn't been that guy. So moving forward, we're going to see what Patrick Mahomes is made out of. He has 10 interceptions right now. He's not looking good, but we're going to see if Andy Reid can turn this thing around. Everybody is saying Andy Reid is a prolific, play caller and this and that. Rightfully so. He's very good, but at the same time, there are issues. There are issues with the Chiefs, and I don't think that they have addressed it all. They should address it. I think the Chiefs need a wide receiver 2 to go opposite of Tyreek Hill. I think they need another running back. They need a backup tight end. They have so many holes, but Patrick Mahomes have been covering all these holes for so many years that you look past all of the different things that they don't do right and say, oh, Patrick Mahomes, that defense is terrible. It's one of the all-time worst defenses so far, ever, you can even say. Let's see what Ladarius is saying. Ladarius says, Kyler Murray has been playing better than Mahomes this year. Absolutely. Kyler Murray played pretty good last year. I mean, he's ascending, but the same thing could happen to Kyler Murray. No quarterback is perfect. Not even Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady had a terrible season his last season with the Patriots. So things do happen with these different quarterbacks. Sometimes they look good, sometimes they look bad, but they are the ones to blame when things are going good or going bad. You see, do you think the Chiefs should go after Odell? Why not? I mean, if it's going to be inexpensive, and if they have a means of doing it, Tariq Hill just dropped a beautiful pass thrown by Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, um, the Chiefs should go after Odell. But the thing is that price tag of Odell is a lot. I don't know if Odell is fully healthy. I don't know if it's Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield has not looked good at all. So I don't know if it's a Baker Mayfield thing or if it's an Odell thing. I don't know. One of the two. It's either Baker Mayfield is terrible or Odell is washed. I don't know which one it is, but if there's anybody that can motivate Odell to play some ball, that's Patrick Mahomes. There might be a possibility they get a Odell, like when the contract situation, let's say a few years from now, somebody gets out of that contract, whether you're trading for Odell or not, that contract is probably the main issue to why, this he can't be moved. So we'll see. I mean, they need weapons. They need weapons. Sammy Watkins wasn't it. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not it. Travis Kelce, they need help. They need help to make this offense even more dynamic. It's too predictable. As good as Tariq Hill is, as good as Travis Kelce is, this offense is just too predictable. So, big trade today in the NFL. Von Miller was traded from the Denver Broncos to the Los Angeles Rams for a second round 2022 pick and a third round 2022 pick. So that was a shocker. The Washington football team played the Denver Broncos on Sunday, and they were saying that Von Miller had some kind of injury, whatever, right? I think whatever injury they're saying that Von Miller had was a fluke. To be honest, I don't think Von Miller had an injury. But you protect your players, and I guarantee you that the Rams have been talking with the Broncos about this deal. It probably went something like this. The Broncos call the Rams. Hey, we want Von Miller. Denver says, okay, what's your offer? The Rams probably offered a third round pick and said, you know what? We will pay a third round price if we pay the rest of his contract, which was $9.7 million. Broncos probably said, you know what? What if we pay some of that money and you give us a second round pick and a third? It's probably how it went down. So the deal is the Rams paid that third and that second, right? They get Von Miller, and also the Broncos pay $9 million of that $9.7 million contract. So it worked out for both teams. Ladarius says, Rams, my Super Bowl pick. Favorite wide receiver is Deshaun Jackson. My favorite LB is Von Miller. Are you a Rams fan? I forgot. But either way it goes, I think that Deshaun Jackson is going to get released or he's going to get traded. I doubt anybody trades for Deshaun Jackson as we speak. But you never know. Like, he wants out. He just wants to play. Deshaun Jackson cares less if the Rams are going to the Super Bowl or not. But who knows? Maybe he might have a change of heart because at the end of the day, the Rams are building something special here. And Tutu Atwell, that's that smallish wide receiver. He's 5'7". He's like $155. And this guy was a guy that the Rams drafted in the second round. I was making a joke today on Twitter saying that the Rams are terrible at drafting talent. But at the end of the day, it was just a joke. Tutu Atwell is now out for the season. So maybe Deshaun Jackson has a change of heart and says, you know what? Hey, let me just go ahead and just suck it up, play this season. This can be my last season to, get that elusive Super Bowl ring that I've been trying to get my whole career. But then again, Deshaun Jackson, he is a different animal. He's a guy who just loves showtime. He just loves to run routes, get these deep passes. So Who knows, man? Maybe Deshaun Jackson stays. Maybe he leaves. Honestly, I think he leaves and possibly goes somewhere to where he can also help a team win a Super Bowl. He doesn't want to just sit there and just ride the bench and say, hey, I was on a Super Bowl team like LaShawn McCoy. Deshaun Jackson might say, you know what? I want to be the reason my squad wins a Super Bowl. Ladarius says, nope. Sadly, Colts fan. Man, I feel sorry for you, man. The Colts lost to the Titans. I live here in Nashville, so it was big, big talks. You guys had a good game plan. You guys just couldn't put it together. And you guys lost the game. I mean, it was a big loss because now the Colts are 3.5 games back. Really, the Colts are 4 games back. Titans hold that tiebreaker. And, when you sweep somebody in the division, I mean, that's huge. So I don't know what the Colts can do. I know you guys are dealing with injuries on that offensive line, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I want to go ahead and make this point. When the season started, I felt that the Colts were the team to battle with the Titans to, give them a match in that division. The Houston Texans, obviously, with the Deshaun Watson thing, I canceled them out. The Jags are the Jags. I canceled them out. But speaking of the Titans, they just lost Derrick Henry today. It's not breaking news now, but it was definitely big news earlier today. It's terrible news. As a Derrick Henry owner in fantasy football, it hurts, but I did trade him in a few leagues. I kept him in a few. Derrick Henry was having a phenomenal season. If you look at his yards rushing this season, compared to the number 2 guy, you'll see there's a huge gap. He had an NFL lead in touchdowns, 10 touchdowns. Now that Derrick Henry's out the picture, they're saying 6 to 10 weeks. We really don't even know. Titans fans are telling me that, hey, Derrick Henry could return before the end of the season. I don't know. Different things could happen. Ladarius says, Wentz been balling this year, though, no lie. He's better than Hurts to me. Absolutely. Carson Wentz, even though I'm a Washington football fan, I've always respected Carson Wentz. A lot of Washington fans will never say that. A lot of Washington fans will never give Carson Wentz the credit that he deserves. Carson Wentz is great. He's a great quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He's a good to great quarterback. And he's been balling this year. All he needs is some weapons. Just imagine if they had another guy opposite Michael Pittman. Oh, man, speaking of Travis Kelce, man, he just fumbled the ball. This guy right here, he's ruining my season right now. He's ruining my season. I don't know why I drafted Travis Kelce in fantasy football. But anyways, back to my point. The Eagles let go of Carson Wentz. They are unsure of Jalen Hurts. Now they're trying to trade for Deshaun Watson, or you don't even know what the Eagles are going to be able to do. So it's just crazy to me that this is the route that the Eagles are taking. Now Jalen Hurts has looked good in fantasy football world, but in terms of real life, I don't know. He's not making enough plays. Is it that he doesn't have enough weapons? Is it that the Eagles are not really good at drafting weapons? I don't know. But yeah, man, Wentz has been amazing this year, and he's only going to continue to get better. T.Y. Hilton came back and got hurt. I think they need to give Carson Wentz legitimate weapons. They need another guy opposite Michael Pittman. Pascal is there. He's all right. That Colts receiver that continues to get hurt, Paris Campbell, it's just terrible. The tight ends, Mo Alley Cox is okay. Jack Doyle, he's old, washed, in my opinion. But Larry says, I don't understand why Henry continued to play. He should have sat out. Yeah, when I was watching Red Zone, I saw Derrick Henry, on the sidelines with no shoes on. And I messaged my fantasy group. I was saying, hey, Derrick Henry, he's hurt. One of the guys told me, you know what? Derrick Henry's not hurt. He's going to be fine. He's this, he's that. But under no circumstance do you see a player with no shoes on or no cleats on and just think that everything is fine. No, everything is not fine. It happened to be a serious injury. Now he's getting surgery tomorrow morning, and then we'll see where they go. Titans had the best record in the AFC, and I think Derrick Henry tried to push through just to get that tough number 1 overall a record that bye week, which is huge. But at the end of the day, you still got to go out there and win games. Whether you're playing 2-3 games to get Super Bowl, you got to be on, at your best. And I think that the Titans Titans risked it and it didn't work. It was a big risk and it didn't work. Hawk, what's good, man? He says, Manny, our season is over and now it's on the basketball season. Absolutely, man. The season is over. It's all about basketball now. We're going to talk. I mean, this podcast right here, this stream right here, just a free flow. We talking current game going on right now. We talking Daniel Jones about to destroy the Kansas City Chiefs. We're talking Kelsey fumbling, man. We're talking NBA, man. So whatever y'all want to talk about, we're going to talk about it. Darius says, Manny, what do you think of that AJ Green play? You know what? The AJ Green play, man, I have mixed emotions about that. When I watched it live, I was thinking that AJ Green ran his route and Kyler Murray just threw the ball, without AJ Green turning around. Now, as I watched the replays, and somebody pointed this thing out to me, they said that AJ Green went to block. AJ Green thought that they called a running play. That was as terrible as terrible goes. The Arizona Cardinals started at their 10-yard line, or even, maybe 5-yard line, or whatever it was. They drive all the way, and it's a 1st and goal situation. Okay. Not only that, they were not aggressive. They were trying to kill the clock at the same time trying to score a touchdown. You can't do both. It's either you're trying to score a touchdown or you're trying to kick a field goal. At the end of the day, had they kicked the field goal, the way that they played in their aggressiveness and everything else, it just seemed like they wanted to kick a field goal. Instead of kicking a field goal, now you want to get aggressive at the end and you call a play. DeAndre Hopkins, he, kept trying to play. He couldn't play. So it was just a lot of mess going on. There was a lot of drama going on, even leading up to that play. But I believe there was a terrible play call. I don't think that AJ Green and Kyler Murray were on the same page. At the same time, you have a Christian Kirk. If the receiver is if the receiver is not looking at the ball, why do you throw it? You throw it maybe the play was, you run, you turn around, but he didn't put it in a place that only the receiver can catch the ball. But communication issues cost them a loss. Now they are one loss, and Green Bay is right there trying to get that elusive bye week in the NFC. Everybody has questions about Aaron Rodgers. Does Aaron Rodgers return? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. I don't think that Aaron Rodgers returns just for the fact that he's been so disrespected. But Green Bay is the only organization that gives Aaron Rodgers the best chance of winning the Super Bowl right now as we speak. Ladarius says, that reminds me of when the Seahawks gave the Super Bowl away. Absolutely. Run the ball. But that situation was different, right? Instead of running the ball, they threw the ball and it was an interception. And those things happen. Those things happen, man. Sometimes it's play calling. Sometimes it's connection with your skill wide receivers or tight ends or things of that nature. I still say it was not a play call. Man, the Giants are moving the ball and they're really trying to make this thing a game for the New York Giants. For the Kansas City Chiefs. So we'll see what happens there. But Daniel Jones is moving the ball. Kadarius Toney is going to be a hot trade target this week. I think he's the only healthy wide receiver on the Giants right now currently. So, we'll see what happens. They're really moving the ball, man. I don't know. Let's see. All right, Daniel Jones snaps the ball. He hands it off to Booker. Booker's running, and he's at the 10-yard line, 1st and goal. So now I've turned into a play-by-play guy, huh? Hey, the Giants are really trying to win this game, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Everybody's trying to win except the Washington football team. I don't know what's going on. Darius poses a great question here. Do you think that Tua was a bust? I don't think Tua was a bust because it's just year 2. We look at the quarterbacks that have come out the last few years. You look at the Patrick Mahomes of the world and, the Deshaun Watsons and the Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow. What these guys have in common is that they're special. Now, As of right now, I don't think that Tua is special. He's not special. After watching Tua play, Tua seems like a regular quarterback. He does have some upside, but I won't call him a bust just yet. He might end up just being a solid starter or a starter or a starter level type quarterback, but I don't think he's a franchise quarterback as of right now. Trying to draft franchise quarterbacks are so tough. And I tell this thing to Washington football fans all the time. Washington football team, they're looking for a franchise quarterback right now. Everybody wants a franchise quarterback, but do you know how hard it is to find a franchise quarterback? You have to continue to draft a quarterback every single year until you get it right. So right now, you pose a good question: is Tua a bust? Great question. At the end of the day, what could happen is maybe Miami goes and drafts another quarterback next year. Even if Tua doesn't pan out, or even if Tua does pan out, you know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. So, yeah, let me go ahead and block this idiot. Let me block him. All right. We have no time for nonsense. Idiots coming on my stream talking about 666 and Nazis and this and that. Nah, we ain't about that. So back to Tua. I don't think Tua is a bust. I'll give him another year. I posed a question today about my Washington football team. I said Ron Rivera had a 5-year plan, right? And I asked a question that made a lot of sense. I said, how many years does it take to develop a rookie quarterback? Somebody told me it takes 3 years. So people are saying in year 3 is when you start seeing some major progression, some major growth out of the quarterback. So with my football team heading into year 3, that means I got to start seeing some changes. So maybe year 3 is the year for Tua. But if you got a chance to get a Deshaun Watson, you go ahead and do that. But I think Tua is going to be fine. He might not be a franchise quarterback. At the end of the day, he might just end up being a starting level quarterback, and that's fine. But that's not the reason why they drafted him. But it's tough to get that quarterback position right. Ladarius says, would you accept Aaron Rodgers on the Washington football team next year? I want him on the Saints, though. Absolutely. I will take Aaron Rodgers on the Washington football team at any cost. At any cost. I don't care how much Aaron Rodgers wants. If Aaron Rodgers wants to be on my sorry Washington football team, I would take that all day long. And this is why. If you're bringing him in as a free agent, that means that you're not trading away assets. You're not trading away your first or second or third round picks to get this guy, right? When Aaron Rodgers comes here, he's going to definitely help to fix that offense that Scott Turner is calling. So obviously Aaron Rodgers is a top 2 quarterback in the NFL right now currently. After Tom Brady, there's nobody better than Aaron Rodgers. Nobody better. We can debate this all day long. Now, if Aaron Rodgers comes to DC, he has Terry McLaurin, right? He'll have Curtis Samuel if he can ever get healthy. But at the end of the day, you go and get the game changers. Now, if you talk about Aaron Rodgers on the Saints, that's actually a better fit. They have a great defense. They have a great coach. They have a great organization and a great culture. Aaron Rodgers pretty much fits anywhere. Also, I love the weapons that they already have. So Evan Ingram just scored a touchdown for the Giants, and the Giants are up 16 to 14 right now with an extra point coming up. This is crazy. The Giants might just win this game. What's good, man? My guy, Chef Dre Boog in the building, man. Blessings, my guy, man. Blessings to you, man. Blessings to your business and your family. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you hopping on the stream. We're talking a little bit of Aaron Rodgers, Washington football Saints, where he fits. I think Aaron Rodgers fits anywhere. If Aaron Rodgers is smart, the Saints would be a great move. You have a running back like Alvin Kamara. Can you imagine what Aaron Rodgers can do with Alvin Kamara? And then you get Michael Thomas back. You talk about Devontae Adams doing all these different things. People say that Michael Thomas can't run routes. Michael Thomas is a slant guy. Aaron Rodgers will make Michael Thomas the best wide receiver in the league. We've already seen Michael Thomas as the best wide receiver in the league. Now you give him an Aaron Rodgers, you're going to see a Devontae Adams type of performance out of this guy for the next few seasons. So he's just going to elevate everything about the Saints. all these other number 2 wide receivers, the Callaways of the world and the Traquan Smith. Aaron Rodgers is going to make these guys effective and elite. That's what he does. Aaron Rodgers takes guys like Alan Lazard and Marquez Valdez-Scantling, all these I won't call them bums, but all these receivers that are less talented, and he makes them relevant. That's what Aaron Rodgers does. And that's what I believe that Aaron Rodgers can do. Darius says, I think that Brady stole Mahomes' powers after the Super Bowl, just like Space Jam. Hey, that's funny, but that's so accurate, man. Literally after the Super Bowl, Mahomes has never been the same. He's never been the same. You talk about deflate gate with Tom Brady. Yes, that ball that Patrick Mahomes used in the Super Bowl, I'm pretty sure that Tom Brady has it in his house, and all his powers is in that football. So, yeah, I do believe that, Patrick Mahomes' powers are gone, currently speaking. Chef Dre says, any buzz with him coming here to D.C.? No. There's no buzz whatsoever about Aaron Rodgers coming to D.C. This is just us speculating and just us talking and just trying to figure out something. Because at the end of the day, Ron Rivera, he's on the hot seat. I don't care what anybody has to say. Ron Rivera is definitely on the hot seat. Everybody's saying he signed a 5-year contract and this and that. Look, are you trying to build or are you trying to win? That's my question with the Washington football team. Everybody says it's a plan, is this, is that. If you're trying to build, right, how come you're not playing the young players? It has to be one or the other. So I haven't seen it. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, definitely no buzz with Aaron Rodgers coming to the Washington football team as we speak. Ladarius says Aaron Rodgers just beat the Cardinals with the number 3 and number 4 wide receivers. Absolutely. And it was probably even worse than number 3 and number 4. If you think about it, it's Devontae Adams. He wasn't there. Alan Lazard, that's the number 2. He wasn't there. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, that's their number 3. So he really beat the Cardinals with the number 4 and number 5 wide receivers, and even guys that have never played before. That's just how special Aaron Rodgers is, and people don't really realize that you get an Aaron Rodgers on your squad, you are an instant Super Bowl contender. Aaron Rodgers has been a Super Bowl contender just about every year of his career so far this year, but he does not get that respect that he deserves, and I don't get that. You get Aaron Rodgers, if you have Aaron Rodgers and a defense, then you have something. You definitely have something. So, got some news for you guys. Kadarius Toney's hurt. It's his left thumb. Man. So no Sterling Shepard, no Kadarius Toney, and Daniel Jones is beating the Kansas City Chiefs as we speak. Is Daniel Jones special? I don't think so. But guess what? What he's doing right now is real gutsy. And I believe this game was in Kansas City. So, yeah, it's been some crazy stuff going on in the NFL, and we're going to talk about a little bit of some NFL in a minute. It says, why don't Ron Rivera just call up his boy Cam Newton? I don't want to see Cam Newton in D.C. I think that Cam Newton is washed. I think that Cam Newton is going to help the run game in D.C., but in terms of passing, being that pure passer, being able to move the ball to guys like Terry McLaurin and co., I just don't see that. But who knows? He might call Cam Newton. But at this point, you're 2-6. So you're bringing Cam Newton here to win games so you can get into the playoffs? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to develop your guys, or are you trying to win football games now? You can't do both. You got to pick one, and you got to do it. Says Brady has accolades, but to me, Rodgers is more talented. I've said that to my coworker. He thought I was crazy. I said, if you're talking about pure talent, it's Aaron Rodgers all day, and it's not even close. Aaron Rodgers is more talented than Tom Brady. But when you look at Tom Brady just has that confidence that he just spews over the rest of his team. He's just one of those guys that can bring out the best out of everybody. Tom Brady is not a super talented guy, but he's just the hardest worker. You're not going to outwork Tom Brady. And then he's very smart. He works on his ball placement. You know what I'm saying? He puts the ball to where only the wide receiver or tight ends can catch the ball, even running backs. He makes running backs relevant. He makes running backs look elite in that offense. And that's just who Tom Brady is. So when you're talking about talent, I'll take Rodgers. If you're talking about everything else, give me Tom Brady all day long. That's kind of how I break down these two different guys. So, The Chiefs have the ball. They're trying to score. Patrick Mahomes is scrambling. He gets the first down. And I believe that they are in the Giants' territory as we speak. But Darius says, do you think that Tom Brady is more talented than Peyton Manning? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think that Peyton Manning is more talented than Aaron Rodgers. I think that Peyton Manning is the most talented quarterback of my time. So ever since 1999, since I've started watching football, Peyton Manning is the best quarterback that I have ever seen. A lot of people might debate that and say no. Now, Peyton Manning does remind me a lot of Tom Brady for the simple fact that they get the ball out of their hands rather quick. They use the running backs. They use the possession wide receivers. But when you give Peyton Manning several different kinds of weapons, he was able to air the ball out. He can get the ball to the wide receivers that do run these deep routes, but he's never really just had a lot of wide receivers that go deep. He just had these crispy route runners like the Marvin Harrisons of the world and the Reggie Waynes. Then later on came Pierre Garcon, the Stokelys of the world. So Peyton Manning has been blessed and fortunate to have pretty good weapons throughout his career. I think he had 2 Hall of Famers. But when you look at Tom Brady, what he's been able to do before, the Gronkowskis of the world, he was able to win with lesser talent. But then you have Brady, who's played with Gronkowski. He's played with Randy Moss, Wes Welker. He made Wes Welker great. He made Wes Welker a Hall of Famer. He's made Edelman a borderline Hall of Famer. So it's just one of those things, man. That's when you say who is the better quarterback. You look at the accolades. You look at the players that they've played with. But one thing I can say is that the year that you gave Tom Brady a Randy Moss, he looked amazing. And this season, he was just last season and this season, he was just smart to pick Tampa Bay. You have Mike Evans, who is as elite as it comes. The guy has never had less than 1,000 yards, right? And he's a touchdown machine. Then you have a guy like Chris Godwin, crispy route runner. He can go deep. He just does it all. Then you call your buddy Antonio Brown and say, hey, I want you to come on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and play with me. And Antonio Brown is still a very good to very elite wide receiver. Forget what the age says. Forget what, everything else that he's done. So when you look at all the different quarterbacks and the weapons that these guys have had, ask yourself, which quarterback is better? Based off of the weapons, based off of the coaching, and based off of all these different things. I mean, if you give a guy like Drew Brees the weapons that, let's say Peyton Manning had, or the weapons that Rodgers, it's just hard to compare these guys. It's different eras. It's different rules in terms of being a passing league, running league, things of that nature. And then the weapons that these guys had. Out of all these guys, I don't even think that Drew Brees has a Hall of Fame caliber type guy that he played with in terms of receiving the ball. You can say Michael Thomas, but he has a long way to go. Tom Brady has played with more Hall of Fame type wide receivers, whether he created these guys or whether it was through free agency. So I don't know. Aaron Rodgers, you have a Devontae Adams who has a long way to go, but he is literally the best wide receiver in the game right now. Larry says Antonio Brown did all that and still ended up with the ring. The Steelers really chose Juju over AB. And it's crazy. Everything that Antonio Brown said, they were all true. He said that Juju was a bum. True. He said some things about Ben Roethlisberger. I can't really remember what he said. But guess what? Where is Ben Roethlisberger today? So I say all this to say that everything that, he said pretty much came to pass. So we got so much to talk about. So many games this weekend. The Titans losing Derrick Henry. That was the biggest loss. Titans still hold the best record in the AFC right now, but I think it's going to be hard for them to maintain it. With Von Miller going to the Rams, that changes things. Von Miller was brought to the Rams to counter what Tom Brady's doing. The Rams said, hey, we can score with these guys, but can we even defend these guys? Can we put some pressure on Tom Brady? Now you have to deal with Floyd, Von Miller. You got to deal with Aaron Donald. the best corner in the league, Jalen Ramsey, which I believe you still need more corners because Jalen Ramsey can guard, all three guys. But with a pass rush like that, that's going to be, 1.2 seconds or so for Tom Brady to get the ball out of his hands. Mahomes is struggling. Throws Nico Hardeman. He runs touchdown. The Chiefs have taken the lead. They're saying that it's not a touchdown. As I watch this game, I don't know what's wrong with the Kansas City Chiefs, and hopefully somebody can explain this thing to me. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting game right now. Pretty interesting game. Let me watch this play one more time. Oh yeah, the ball hit the ground. The ball hit the ground. It seems like they're gonna kick a field goal. But yeah, it's I mean, it's just crazy to me. Crazy to me. I'm gonna go ahead and share this stream on Facebook. If you guys are on Facebook, please follow me, Talking Sports with Manny. I'm also on Instagram at TS with Manny, as well as Twitter, TS with Manny. So y'all make sure y'all follow me. Darius makes a pretty good point right here. Says, thank you, Manny. Ramsey is says Ramsey is greater than overrated Diggs. Absolutely. Let me tell you guys what Diggs is doing right now. First of all, I got to pay homage to Diggs. He's having a phenomenal season right now. So I have to give him credit. But at the same time, what Diggs is doing is great. But at the same time, he's getting a lot of interceptions. You even saw the game versus the Patriots where he had an interception. I think it was a pick six. And then on the very next play or the very next series, he gave up a touchdown. So he's a gambler. He's talented, but he's not your lockdown corner. People throw at Trayvon Diggs for a reason. People don't throw at Jalen Ramsey for a reason. So, I mean, when you look at it that way, it's just easy to pretty much tell who's better. You don't have to, scratch your head or think, oh man, who's better? It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple to, figure out who's better. So yeah, that's an easy one for me. Jalen Ramsey is a lockdown corner. He can defend, he can tackle. There's nothing that Jalen Ramsey can't do on defense. And he's possibly one of the best corners that I've seen in I don't know how many years. So, oh man, Patrick Mahomes just got sacked, or I think he tried to run or something. He fumbled the ball, and the Chiefs recovered it. They're about to kick a field goal right now to tie this game, and it's 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So it's a wild one, man. We got a wild one right now. So we'll definitely see what happens there. But yeah, Mahomes does not look good at all. There's a doctor that I follow on Twitter. He does all this, injury stuff. He says it's looking like a right lateral ankle sprain for Mahomes. Oh man, that's not good. If Mahomes has an ankle sprain right now, their season is over. And I would even say shut Mahomes down. It's not worth it. But yeah, these injuries have been ridiculous injuries, man, left and right. But let's take a look and see what's going on in the NBA tonight. Tonight you have the Grizzlies facing the Denver Nuggets, and it's 104-94 right now. The Grizzlies have been looking pretty good, man. Ja Morant is playing out of his mind. I love what I'm seeing out of this young kid, this young bull from Murray State, small school, but plays a big game. Had 26 points tonight, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. Ja Morant was unbelievable tonight. The Grizzlies are building something special. I can't really tell you what they need. It seems like they have everything. They have a big man in Adams, Jaren Jackson playing the power forward position. Bane is a nice 3-and-D guy. Melton is another a guy that can play. When you bring back your guy, Delon Brooks, that's just a whole another a guy that can play out of control. So yeah, Ja Morant and the Grizzlies, they're 4-3 right now. They win some, they lose some, but they're going to be a potential playoff team this year. I'm really liking the Grizzlies this year. Let's look at the Nuggets, man. They're 4-3. Jokic had 23 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and it was not enough. It wasn't enough. It is what it is. Let's look at some other games, some other scores. The Cleveland Cavaliers have looked good this season, man. I gotta give credit to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're playing a crazy lineup where you're playing a Laurie Markkinen, you're playing Jared Allen and Evan Mobley all at the same time, and all these three guys are at least 6'10" and up. You're playing Markkinen as a small forward, and people say, like the big man position is, over with, things of that nature. It might be, but here you have two big guys in Mobley and Markkinen who can shoot the three ball. Mobley reminds me of a Chris Bosh. But as of right now, Mobley has a better jump shot. He had 15 and 10 tonight. You know what I'm saying? Jared Allen, 24 and 16. Markkinen, 21 and 8. And it's funny how they have this big lineup, but then they have these mini guards, as I will call them, in Sexton and Garland. These are some smallish guards, but they get the job done. They don't really have much coming off the bench. But we're going to see as the season progresses. There it says Harden has been looking bad without free throws. Absolutely. James Harden was a guy who figured out the system in the NBA. He figured out how to draw fouls, and he was the master at drawing fouls. There have been some other guys that draw fouls, like Damian Lillard. He's looking bad as well. Curry, he draws fouls, but he can play without the free throws. James Harden has transformed his game. He's turned himself into a one-on-one type player, and it has not worked out. It has not worked out. So he'll need to figure out something. He will definitely need to figure out something moving forward. I asked you guys this question before I started the stream. I said, are the Charlotte Hornets for real? And tonight they lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are 4-4. The Charlotte Hornets dropped to 5-3. When you look at the Hornets, right, Terry Rozier wasn't there when they was doing all these different things. Terry Rozier is now back, and he's taking a step back. You have LaMelo Ball, who's playing out of control. He had 30 points tonight, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Miles Bridges might be the guy that's going to be hurting with Rozier coming back. It's too many mouths to feed. Don't forget about P.J. Washington, who these guys drafted, to be their starting power forward. All of a sudden, Bridges, who wasn't starting last year, is playing out of his mind because PJ was hurt. So now you have a great problem here. They brought in Kelly Oubre, who was playing so well, but then now that one guy is in the lineup as a Terry Rozier, it messes up the entire lineup, and now they have to really figure out what they're doing. So I think the Hornets have a push for the playoffs, but it's so early to determine. Even a team like the Wizards, I don't know what they do this year. I don't know if they continue this pace. They dropped down to 5-2. They start the season 5-1, and it's the best start that they've had since the 2005 season. So all these different teams, man, let's talk about the Raptors for a minute. Scotty Barnes has been amazing this year. Scotty Barnes has been amazing. Let me read this comment real quick. Ladarius says, who's your most improved player so far? I got Miles Bridges. That's a great question, man. You got Miles Bridges over Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero is looking like the sixth man of the year right now. So I'll have to give it to Hero right now. But Miles Bridges has looked amazing as well. But like I said, with all these different changes with the Hornets, right, with all these guys coming back getting healthy, you're going to see a dip in Miles. What in the world is going on? Getting all these weird bots and stuff. Hop on the stream. It's crazy. You block one, another one comes. All right. So back to what I was saying, man. Yeah, Tyler Hero right now is that dude. Tyler Hero is that dude as we speak. You look at the Toronto Raptors. They're 5-3. They're a team that you cannot sleep on. They beat the New York Knicks, who's another team that's playing pretty well. So the Knicks are 5-2 right now. The Raptors are 5-3. Tonight it was OG Anunoby who had 36 points. Van Vliet had 15. Svi Mykhailiuk had 15 points himself. And then Gary Trent had 26. So the Raptors are finding ways to win. You know what I'm saying? Boucher has not been good this season. He was a guy that I felt could be a sleeper for the Raptors this year. Boucher has been terrible. On top of that, Pascal Siakam, who was the Raptors, one of their stars, he's not available. He's not here. So when you look at the Raptors, man, you see a whole bunch of guys that work hard, a whole bunch of guys that play hard. And then there was no Scotty Barnes tonight, and Svi Mykhailiuk stepped in his place and gave you 15, 5, and 5. You can't beat that. It does not get any better than that. You know what I'm saying? So Raptors seem to be legit this year. I'm going to see how they look as the season goes on. The Knicks, a lot of hype with Julius Randle, a guy that the Lakers drafted, and it didn't work with the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? But it's working here with the Knicks. RJ Barrett has been phenomenal the last 2 games. He's hitting that 3 ball. Tonight he shot 5 for 8. You know what I'm saying? The night before, I think he made 6 threes. So he's really making a lot of threes right now. But yeah, the Raptors look good. Ladarius says the Clippers are trash. I know. They're missing Kawhi, but I thought that they had dogs. Hey, I'm loving how the Clippers are struggling right now. When the Lakers were missing LeBron, nobody cared, right? When the Lakers were missing Anthony Davis, nobody cared. The Clippers are missing Kawhi Leonard. I don't care. You got to adjust. It's a business. You have a team full of professionals. These are some of the best players in the world, right? You figure that they need to step up. As we speak, the Thunder are beating the Clippers right now in the first quarter, 21-12, and there's 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. So who knows? Maybe they lose. The Pacers win big tonight, 131-118, led by Sabonis with 24 points. Miles Turner, the first game of the season versus the Wizards went bonkers, man. He went crazy. And he has not really lived up to that hype that he had that first game. But Miles Turner had a decent game tonight, 19 points, 8 rebounds. TJ McConnell had 10 points, 10 assists. For those of you guys who play fantasy, TJ McConnell is an excellent pickup right now. This Chris Duarte, I don't know where this kid came from, but this rookie can seriously play some ball. He had 18 points. I think that he's possibly could be the rookie of the year this year. So, yeah, man, it's crazy right now. What I'm seeing out of Chris Duarte. He's really, really good player. The Spurs just have a whole bunch of guys that can play, but you're unsure if they could be that guy. They can play, but like we really don't know what Papa is doing right now. Are you building or are you trying to win? Ladarius says the Lakers should try to get Miles Turner. DeAndre is trash. I think that Miles Turner would be a great pickup for the Lakers, but it's like, what assets do the Lakers really have? Are Lakers willing to give up a THT? That's really the only asset that they have outside of their big 3. So we'll see. You know what I'm saying? Right now, things are going well for the Lakers. The Lakers finally went with AD at the center position, and it worked out beautifully. You know what I'm saying? Bring DeAndre Jordan off the bench. I don't mind starting a DeAndre Jordan. I like Dwight Howard better than DeAndre Jordan, in my opinion. But DeAndre Jordan does play his role, which is to, set screens, catch lobs. That's really all you need out of DeAndre Jordan. But Dwight Howard is more of that shot blocking center, and who can also catch lobs. But it's just a mental issue with Dwight Howard. You know what I'm saying? He just complains too much, and next thing you know, he gets all these stupid fouls. But let me see what Ladarius said. Says AD should suck it up and start at center. He should. He doesn't want to play center for whatever the reason is. I think you're going to see more of AD at the 5 in the playoffs, like we always do. But in the regular season, he wants somebody else getting back. I mean, AD is a fragile guy, and I can understand why he doesn't want to play center. So it makes sense. But we'll see how things unfold as the season progresses. Let's see what other games we can talk about tonight. The 76ers were without Joel Embiid, who possibly could have won MVP last season if Joel Embiid was healthy. He wasn't healthy, so obviously he doesn't, win. He doesn't win that MVP title. But everybody laughs at Andre Drummond for going to the Sixers. Andre Drummond went to the perfect situation. We all know that Joel Embiid is going to miss a lot of games. out of 82 games, I'm expecting Joel Embiid. If he plays more than 60 games, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't tell you. For all you sports bettors, you guys might want to bet that Joel Embiid is not going to play over 60 games. I say under. I mean, that's just how I feel about this situation. Um, the Sixers played the Portland Trailblazers tonight. CJ McCullough and Damian Lillard both had 20 points apiece, and they struggled to score. They struggled to score. Powell had 22. But outside of these three guards, and they're all mini guards. They're all, I think, between 6'3" and 6'4". All these all these guards. So you play three guards. You have a small forward playing power forward in Covington, who went to Tennessee State University, where I graduated from. Shout out to Robert Covington. But anyways, you have Larry Nance, who you brought in. You was excited about him. He's giving you nothing. 7-6. You have the Portland Trailblazers are ultra trash right now. They're 3-4. I don't even think they make the playoffs. I don't know. Damian Lillard has been so bad so far to start this season. It says Ben Simmons for Lillard straight up. I mean, I would do it, but do you think? I mean, think about this. If Portland is going to trade Damian Lillard, they want more. The Sixers want to trade Simmons, but they want more. So what's the compromise here? Maybe Ben Simmons and Tyrese Maxey and Matisse Thybulle, maybe for Lillard and Simons. I don't know, but I just don't see a straight up trade. It makes zero sense for Portland. You bring in Ben Simmons, who's younger, who has some star appeal and some potential, but at the end of the day, they value Dame Lillard so much. Then you look at the Sixers. If this is a straight up trade, the Sixers definitely won this deal. Damian Lillard is definitely the better player between Ben Simmons and I mean, it's not even close. If Joel Embiid is playing with a legit point guard that is a threat to shoot the ball at any given moment, Lillard is a guy that can go for 50, go for 60 at any given moment. Ben Simmons for Lillard, straight up, I don't see how that happens. It's a nice thought, though, but I just don't see how that happens. It just makes no sense for Portland. It really doesn't. I think if you're trading a Lillard, you're trying to get a player like Embiid. Like, I think Lillard is on that level. He's on that first-class level. If you say who are the top 15 players in the NBA, Dame Lillard is a top 15 player. Ben Simmons is not. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So when you're talking top 15 players in the league, Lillard is one, and I think you trade a top 15 for a top 15. Now, Dame Lillard for a guy like Kawhi, yes. Dame Lillard for a guy like Braun, even, yes. You know, though Dame is that kind of level type player. You know, the only difference between Steph Curry and Dame Lillard is the accolades that Steph has. I'm not saying that Steph is better. I'm not saying that the other guy is better. But what I am saying is, you know, it's just a little difference. But Kyrie's not worried about getting traded. Kyrie's Kyrie. Kyrie does Kyrie type things. But I do think that the Nets need to move on. You can tell that Kyrie's just a guy that's not serious about basketball right now. But who in the NBA wants a player that's not serious about basketball? So let's say, for example, you trade Kyrie to a bad team because that's where you're going to get the most value, right? You trade Kyrie to a bad team. What makes you think that Kyrie is going to be motivated to want to play for a bad team when he wasn't motivated to want to play for the Brooklyn Nets that are legit NBA finals contenders, championship contenders? So makes no sense to me what Kyrie's doing, but hey, you got to respect everybody's wishes. But to me, it just seems like Kyrie's a selfish guy, a guy that's pretty much given up on on his teammates. It is what it is. I mean, we all knew that you couldn't play without the vaccine. I'm not saying, get the vaccine, don't get the vaccine. I have the vaccine. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has that decision to make for themselves and their family. But at the same time, it's like with what Kyrie's doing, what is his end game here? So already you don't want to play. You're not going to get the vaccine. The team just cut you off pretty much. So are you going to get the vaccine, or are you going to allow your team to continue to lose games and then you say, okay, I'm ready to get the vaccine? Or when you come back, there's no chemistry. There's chemistry issues. So really, what's the end game? If Kyrie doesn't want to play, just sit out the whole season. Sit out the whole season until things get better. You know what I'm saying? Take some time away from basketball. Work on your mental health. Maybe that's what he's doing. I don't know. Calvin Ridley is a player for the Arizona. ATL Falcons that have done this recently. Calvin Ridley's taking time away from football to work on his mental health. Now we don't know if Calvin Ridley is going to be out all season. If it's going to be a week, if it's going to be 2 weeks, we don't know. But yeah, things are happening in the NFL. There's big things that are going to change the course of so many different teams, franchise, playoffs, even in fantasy. Without Calvin Ridley, what do? Example, we were all thinking that Russell Gage was going to be that guy, right? Russell Gage gets out there and does nothing. Makes no sense. Russell Gage had no targets. I thought it was maybe because Stephon Gilmore was, guarding this guy. That wasn't even the case. So, things are happening, whether it's players getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? You have Jameis Winston. That's another injury. Big injury for Jameis Winston. I felt he was playing some of his best football this year in terms of taking care of the ball. You didn't really have a lot of weapons outside of Alvin Kamara. You're playing with some wide receivers that nobody know. But Jameis Winston, even though he has these funny workouts, every time I watch Jameis Winston trying to get ready for a game or the season, it is pure entertainment to me. But one thing I can say about Jameis Winston is that he's played hard. He's worked on his craft, and he really showed that he can really be a good quality NFL quarterback this season. And that's what was going on. That's what was happening. And then that horse tackle, that horse collar tackle, you know what I'm saying? Then he tears his ACL. He's out for the season. I'm wishing Jameis Winston a speedy recovery. That's not a good way to go. It's not a good way to go. So now where do the Saints go from here? The trade deadline in the NFL is tomorrow, okay? I don't know if the Saints make a trade for a quarterback. Trevor Siemian comes in and leads the Saints to a win versus Tom Brady, the GOAT. So maybe they like what they see in Trevor Siemian. We all know that Taysom Hill is out there, but he's more of a gadget guy. I don't think that Taysom Hill is an NFL-level type quarterback. He's a piece. He's a piece. He can play tight end. He can play fullback, running back. He can play pretty much most positions on the field. But I don't see quarterback as a strong suit. So I don't know what's going to happen with the Saints. Who knows if they call a Cam Newton? I don't know. But you bring in a Cam Newton, you already have that same kind of guy in Taysom Hill. I'm not comparing the two, but I'm just saying that the way that they're built and the way that they play is pretty much similar. It's pretty much similar. We take a look at it was some crazy games. Mike White for the Jets. He comes in and has over 400 plus yards passing the ball, and they were able to beat the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday. So you have Pat White beating Joe Burrow, you have Trevor Siemian beating the Bucks, and you have Cooper Rush beating Kirk Cousins. That was a great game last night. Cooper Rush, a guy that was on the Dallas Cowboys squad, he really didn't make an impact his first time around. Got cut, went to the Giants, circled back around. He's now back on the Dallas Cowboys roster, and the Dallas Cowboys struggle to find a valuable backup quarterback. And it seems that Cooper Rush could be that guy for them. Big win, clutch win, touchdown pass to Amari Cooper that sealed that victory for them. So this Kansas City Chiefs game is still going on. I'm going to stick around and stream until this game is over. Right now it's 17-17. Patrick Mahomes is at the 10, third and goal. He puts Kelsey in motion to the right side, hikes the ball. He looks left. He looks right. He's running left. He takes a sack, and it's fourth and goal at the 18-yard line. Terrible for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's amazing that it's come down to this. The mighty Patrick Mahomes and the mighty Kansas City Chiefs, they're struggling versus mediocre teams at home. We're talking about at home. This is at home versus the New York Football Giants, a team that's just as bad as the Washington football team, and they're struggling right now to put up points versus the New York Giants. I cannot believe what I'm witnessing right now. Harrison Butker lines up for the field goal. It's a 34-yard field goal. Hikes, kicks it straight through the middle. Field goal is good. Kansas City has the lead 20-17 with 1 minute and 7 seconds left. It's Daniel Jones time. Let's see what Daniel Jones can do. Can Daniel Jones lead the Giants on a fourth quarter comeback, a game-winning drive, or will Daniel Jones lead them to a field goal, tying this game, sending it to overtime, or will Daniel Jones do what Daniel Jones normally does, which is turning over the ball and either getting an interception or fumble? So we're going to see what happens here. It's going to be an exciting finish, to say the least. Not the kind of game that we were trying to watch, but this is a close game. This is a pretty good game. The 2-5 Giants are down 17-20 versus the 3-4 Kansas City Chiefs. Let's see what happens. The Chiefs line up for the kickoff. Man, there was a team in the league that didn't have a kicker. I forgot what team it was, but it was crazy, man. It was crazy. Their punter has never kicked a field goal or even done a place kick before. Harrison Butker kicks it. Ball goes out of bounds into the end zone. So the Giants will take over from their 20 and have 80 yards to drive for a game-winning touchdown or a game-time field goal. Let's see. Daniel Jones has 3 career game-winning drives in his career. Let's see what happens here. He lines up. He has a running back to his left, 3 wide receivers split to the right. All right, he hikes the ball. It looks right. Throws the ball to Evan Ingram for a few yards, second down. The Giants field goal kicker, Graham Gano, is warming up. He has a career-high 63-yard field goal back in 2018 when he was with the Panthers. So let's see if they can get Graham Gano into field goal range. They'll have to get the ball to at least the 45 of Kansas City to even give the Giants a chance of tying this game. Daniel Jones hikes the ball. He looks left, looks right, gets sacked. It is now 3rd and long. Daniel Jones, I told you guys, man, this is who Daniel Jones is. And I mean, it's not fair that he's missing Sterling Shepard. He's missing Kadarius Toney. He's missing Kenny Galladay. He's missing all of his top weapons. And he looks, he throws the ball to the ground. Daniel Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 4th and 15. I doubt they convert this. These guys are playing the most perfect prevent defense that I've ever seen. They're like, you know what? You're not going to beat us. We're going to give you everything underneath. And, I mean, if Daniel Jones didn't get that, maybe they have a better opportunity to convert here. But 4th and 15, I doubt they convert this. For you sports bettors, I know somebody crazy is going to say that they're going to take the Daniel Jones converting this. So he hikes the ball. He's looking left. Oh, my gosh. He fumbles the ball. Daniel Jones fumbles the ball. The one of the linemen get it. They start running. The lineman just fell down to the ground and said, "Hey, you're not about to take my knees out and end my season." So Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs win this game 20-17 versus the lowly New York Giants. Very close game. Shouldn't have been this close, but it is what it is. So, guys, man, had fun with you guys tonight. We talked NFL. We talked NBA. We talked about these injuries that are going on in the NFL. NFL got to figure out something. It's just too many injuries. Too many injuries, man. Too many injuries. Also, James Robinson did get hurt, but they're saying that it's not as bad. It's not season ending. So waiver wire is going to be crazy. I might get on tomorrow, do a waiver wire show. So, guys, this is the Talking Sports with Manny podcast, episode 74. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys are listening on Apple or Spotify, please subscribe. Please give me a rating and a review. I would kindly appreciate it. And if you guys are watching the replay on YouTube, and if you decide to become a channel member, that's available to you. Just watching is just support enough for me. So I appreciate you guys, and I will catch you guys on the next episode and the next video. I'm out.